Right? It's like we are live. Hello. We're going to be doing some more water marbling today. I was testing a little bit before I got on stream on top of my other polish before I took it off, and I just didn't want to deal with that on camera, taking off all this stuff after I tested it. So I do have a little bit of staining in my cuticles from the green from taking it off. You can't see it too badly on camera. But I discovered that my liquid latex refill is way lower than I thought it was. And I didn't have enough to actually refill my little jug here, my little bottle here. So I have it upside down. I think we'll be able to fill in the missing areas as long as I use tape along the sides, which I actually have not ever tried. And I don't have any Scotch tape, so we're going to be using packing tape. So that'll be fun. Let me give my nails a wipe down really quick with some acetone, and then we're going to be putting on this Polished for Days base coat, which is the soft focus base coat. It's got a tint to it. The polishes that I'm marbling with, hey big cat, I'll move the tape for you. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, thank you for the follow. Missy Girl 105. Oh, I guess she decided she didn't want to be here with the tape noises. Well, I guess you get me again. The colors that I'm using are pretty opaque, actually. I did a test over a naked nail and you couldn't see anything underneath. So I don't think I need a separate base color, and having a tinted base coat is just one little extra precaution in case there's like a weird bubble or something, so that it's not just negative space underneath. Out of the way. So anyway, we're gonna put that base coat on and then we'll do the marble. We're gonna be doing a swirl using some Sally Hansen Insta Dry polishes. Three of them are from the Mentos thing collection that just recently happened, and then one of them is just one of the regular Insta Dry ones. I think it's a new spring one or relatively recent because I hadn't seen it before. It's called Heather Hustle. That's the purple over here. This blue one is Peppermint Dandy from the Mentos. This one is You're the Zest, the yellow one from the Mentos, and the orange one is Orange You a Peach from the L. Like I said, I was testing in here, so we got some polishy glick on the surface of the water that we're going to clean off before we actually marble. Closing my acetone so I don't spill it all over the place, and we're just wiping these down. I have the camera up above the water marbling cup just so you can see everything really well. I don't know if you're going to be able to see me apply base coat. I don't think I'm going to move the camera around for that, but it shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. My evenings this week have been mostly involved with swatching and deciding what to put in my D-stash. Getting rid of some polish. I've got about 40% through the swatches that I have on swatch rings, deciding what's staying and what's going. And I have quite a few polishes up on the D-stash page. 100 and something. So if you want to check that out, feel free. But I am still adding polish. I've only gotten through some greens. So I still have the rest of the greens, the blues, the purples, the grays, the whites, and blacks to get through. But I've already done like browns and pinks and reds and oranges and yellows, beginning greens. So, you know, it's at there's a link to it on the top of my regular Instagram page. It's musigalglow.dstash, I think. Right, so this is the tape we're going to be using, but first we're going to put the base coat on. I am sure this off while I'm doing the base coat so that it has a chance to kind of clear off. Where did I put my water marble tool? Here it is. I was sitting on it. So we're just going to get that polish to completely cover the surface of the water. Got a little cotton thing over here that I'm wiping it off on so it doesn't cookie. And we're going to let that dry while I put on my base coat. Off and it'll take all of the dust and it. The base coat, you can see it's not completely opaque, but it does a fair bit toward blurring the visible nail line. Not the kind of nude that you would like wear as a sheer for itself, but I've tried it under some sheer polishes, which is its intended function. And it kind of reduces the number of coats you need of the sheer polish to get full coverage. So for example, if you have like a shimmer polish that has a little bit of a sheer formula to let the shimmer show, if you do that base coat instead of a clear base coat, you might need, you know, 2 coats of the shimmer polish instead of 3, or 3 instead of 4, or what have you. I've done this before with like a nude cream color, but then you need the base coat and the nude. And this is like a base coat with the color already built in, so it's convenient. Voila. Oh, I forgot to tell you that I had nacho cheese protein chips at work. I am now remembering because my finger is orange. Yes? I said I forgot to tell you that I had protein nacho chips at work. Because you were asking earlier. I've washed my hands like so much since then, though. I've washed off, but I guess not. Flooded this cuticle pretty badly. I might just wipe that off and do it again. Didn't wipe off the polish from the neck of the brush very well. Just like... We're gonna be dipping probably 2 nails at a time based on my tests. So I don't know if I'm brave enough to dip both thumbs together. We'll have to see how I feel when we get there, but it'll be 5 or 6 dips all told. Elite spot on this nail. I gotta smooth off the edge. Put base coat on it. Been listening to Little Dorrit. Girls. And my library checkout time expired and somebody else had a hold on it. So now I have to wait till it's available again to be able to... Pretty good so far. Not my favorite of his, but I haven't gotten to the end yet, so maybe it will come, so I don't know. Let's get rid of stuff on the water here. See, it's completely dry, very wrinkly. Okay. Close the base coat. And we're going to put tape on our fingers. So I'm taking off little pieces. I'm going to go around the nail. This just got my base coat pinky squished. That. Close off the back side so that it doesn't get polish all over the underside of the nail. And we're going to put liquid latex right across the top. And see how that works. I patch this little pinky that I banged really fast before I do that. There we go. So there's the tape. Oh good, holding it upside down got me. I don't that. That should be, and we can clean off the top farther away stuff with Q-tip. So then we're gonna get a second piece of tape. Same middle. Since I'm just doing the width of tape for this, I don't want to start it too high. That will prevent me. All the way around the side. All right, so you see this one's almost dry. By the time we finish doing the bullseye, it will be dry again. I'm going to put the latex upside down again while we do this set, and we'll do preparation and then dip for each set. And I think that will give our latex time to re-equilibrate or re-come down the tube or whatever. So we're doing 3 rounds of these colors. We're doing blue, purple, orange, yellow, 1 drip of each. Then we're doing the same thing again. 2 more rounds. Purple, yellow. Encourage the spread on the edges a little bit. Cool. Oh. Come on, don't be shy. And love. Okay, and we're gonna do a hey Braze. We're going to do a pointed flower and then a swirl through that. So going out to both sides and then the other 2 sides. So we've got a little plus sign sort of a shape. And then out corners for all of those. Oh my goodness. Pulling weird, but it's okay. We're looking for a relatively random shape in the spiral once we finish drawing in the cup. So, and then we're going to come back in between each of those points. It doesn't have to be perfectly even. what I'm going for. Just looking for some radially pointed, stripy stuff. Like that. And then we're going to take our little spirally shape and go try to get that bubble while we're doing it. You can see we got the swirly thing going on. Our latex is dry. Gonna a little bit. We have more knuckle space. We're gonna line up our two nails, and I'm kind of aiming on either side of the central spiral for stuff that looks interesting. And then I'm letting the surface of the water dry. Yes, paper marbling, I have always thought that you would enjoy doing. I would enjoy doing it. I just don't have the space for a setup for it. But, you know, you make books for a living, so it's logical for you to try to do it at some point. And there we have our cool little swirly doodle. Right? We'll get a closer zoom in on these later. But for now, they look pretty dang cool. We do have a couple of bubbles, but those will clean up. Once we press them flat and all that, they should be okay. So, getting this off, we're gonna try to peel the tape. That off the one side and go around. And we do have some cleanup past the latex. Some of the latex pulled off, so that will take some of this stuff with it. But we will have some cleanup here. Let's get this off. That one was more successful in protecting my finger. I think I might need to go a little higher on the other one. But anyway, the tape is good. As a protective measure, I like that. It's good. Colette, you're right. Combining the two is the best of both worlds, seemingly. Quite a bit of latex still in this knuckle. Let me get it out really quick while I'm thinking about it. There we go. I'm not going to clean these up right now. We're going to continue marbling and come back to it. Let's get the rest of this off the surface. And prep finger set number 2. Okay. So tape again. I was wondering if the serrated edge of the tape being against the edge of my nail might make a negative difference. Like along the edge here. And I think it would have been the same whether it was serrated or not. And then latex will go there. Pinky. Pinky is small. So pinky can go up a little higher with tape and not worry about reaching around the whole finger as much. So I was gonna do it at the other angle so you could see better, but I don't trust being able to get close enough to the nail doing that, so I'm not going to. Slightly higher up the finger with the latex. We'll see. We'll see. Holding it upside down really does make a difference, though. I tell you what. There's a tiny little bit that I got stuck on my nail there, so I'm waiting until the edge dries, and then I'm putting it back so it doesn't get underneath the marbled polish. Make our next bullseye, hey? Same order. Blue. Purple. Orange. I like the name of that orange. I think it's so cheesy. Orange, you a peach. Yellow. Again. Blue. Purple. Red. Yellow. One more time. After we stretch it a little. What? Yes, it is a very light lavender. I thought you said puppet from looking at my screen at a hurried glance. It is a very light lavender. Yes. Heather Hustle. Okay. So we're gonna draw again. Up, down, side to side, up, other way. This is a little bit more even than last time, so that's good. Middle, into the middle. Middle, don't come away from the edge, please. That's scary. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna anchor you first. Into the middle. Oh no, don't do that either. Into the middle. Anchor. My lesson. There we go. Oh, yes. Yes, they do. And then we're gonna go around. Okay. That's a little weird right there. Can I nudge it a little bit so that it's slightly less weird? Aha! Okay. Yes, latex is dry. Good. Coming on. Ooh, boy, that side's a little weird. What's going on there? Hard to tell. Let's do... Gosh, I don't trust that. I think I'm gonna... That part looks like it's a hole in the polish between this orange section here. You see that darker little line right there? That's a hole. I don't want to dip my nails right into a hole. I think I'm going to redraw that. Don't trust it. Just the void, yes. The void. Alright, try again. But we have to clean off the water. Look at how slowly that's spreading. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to press the bubbles on these first two nails flat. I have my little silicone tool over here. Where is it? I went through and cleaned out this pen cup, but I still don't see it. Well, I've got my little flat-ended cuticle pusher here. We Can you see that? I'm pushing flat the little bubbles that are on the design that I already did. This is doing a pretty good job of it, but there's a couple, these little ones, that are just not wanting to be pushed. Just they're on a part of the nail that's curving differently than the flat edge of this pusher wants to push. There we go. You see the difference in the bubbles? We'll come back to that. This is dry enough that we can try the cup again. Okay. See how much more that spreads in the cup? Yes, it is better. The same cup that I originally was using for my green shamrock marble last week. Put a little bit more water in it, but the water was already stained. Started for and stir it. Yellow. Okay. Try again. Okay. So turning the cup. We're gonna not run into it with the handle. And we're gonna there's a little bubble, so I popped it and then got rid of the pop from it before I brought my nails out. Okay, that's pretty good. Do-do. Yep, pretty good, pretty good. Drawing tool here. Let's clean up on that finger. I just pulled the tape straight off the bottom and none of the latex. Pretty cool. Keep that out of the way. Clean the surface again. These Insta dry polishes water marble relatively well, but they do leave a little bit more of a film than some polishes do, I've noticed. Let's do the bubbles on the middle finger. Can you see on that one? All of them. All of them. See how the bubbles are flat now? Or there are still bubbles. I feel like these ones have a little bit more orange than the pinky. That's okay. Thank you. Let's prep the fingers on this hand. Like I said, I might do the thumb together. I am gonna put another layer of base coat right where the little ridge is on my middle nail. Right there, the ridge. And I want it to be filled a little bit more because this is such a thin design. So I'm actually gonna be doing my ring and pinky finger on the other hand next, or my thumbs next. Let's do my thumbs. Okay, tape. Tape. Aquí está. So I feel like we're gonna have to use a little bit more latex up above the thumb. Other nails. I think I'm only gonna do one thumb at a time. I don't trust myself to dip two. With the tape. I don't know, there's something about the tape that makes me feel like less maneuverable with the thumbs. I don't know. We'll see. Thumb. I could maybe have done my thumb in that one that had like the mess up on the one side of the design, but I didn't have it prepped with latex or anything, and by the time I had gotten it ready, it would have been too dry in the cup to dip in smoothly. Gosh, I banged that area on my middle nail that I just did. Let's fix it. See? It up. Be smooth, please. Be smooth. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, purple. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yellow. Round after we stretch. Mm. Ooh. Slow. Right. We want to angle a little bit. Sides. Okay, and we're gonna go here. Metal is actually more even than some of the other ones. That's good. That's good. And into the middle. Into the middle. Into the into the Let's make sure that's anchored. Okay. Where do I want my thumb to go? I like this spot right over here. That is it. Ooh. There's a big bubble right by the cuticle that I'm going to pop and then clean up what came out of it. Oh my god, look what I just did with the cleanup tool. Just went right through in like a cut. Can I fix that? Maybe, yeah. It's still pretty wet right now. Let's see if I can scooge that together. I am nudging the wet polish very carefully with my little pointy thing. Get a little bit of orange on my pointy thing. After it was, oh no, yeah, What did you do? I'm gonna have to go back in and mask it again a little bit more after it's dry, but I think I'll be able to fix that with a little bit of a blend with a brush. Some polish surgery. That tape didn't stay on my sidewall very well there. I'm gonna have to do some more cleanup. Okay. Where's the whole hand? Colors are relatively rebalanced here. Oh, you had to redo it. I'm sorry. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be able to fix it with cleanup at the end with a little bit of extra polish and a little tiny brush. Okay. Prepare the other thumb. Kind of got a bigger piece and it's covering the whole under bit of my thumb. We'll see how that ends up working. Oh my goodness. That sounds like a nightmare. That's just like, oh my goodness. When did that happen? Was it recently? my god. Yeah, okay. Well, that one turned out well, so good job saving it. Super stressful, though. Because my thumb has tape around it, I am dripping with my opposite hand, and it feels weird. When I'm doing my other nails on this hand, I'm going to be using my right hand grip no matter what. I think the tape that I put around the knuckle of the thumb is too stiff for me to feel comfortable doing that while the latex is drying too. Hang on. Hey, I think I'm gonna draw though. Since we're doing the swirl, I feel like I can do this part of the design so much faster because I know it's not the final look that's going to be on my nails, you know? Gosh, there's a hair or something. That spiral turned out messy. Let me see if I can end it. Uh, I think that's enough for one nail. And I am dipping my thumb, so I'm be okay. I think. If I hate it, I can always redo it, right? Don't bang into the thumbnail, okay? Don't do it. Oh, I already did it. Dang it. Crazy, I did the same thing again. Scratch. Plus. It's okay. It's still wet. Let's smooge it while it's still wet. That'll make the polish surgery later easy. This one's actually going to be easier to fix than the other one. I'm actually not going to touch it right now. It's wet. You see, it's mostly in the orange area. Right there. And then there's a little blue stripe across it, but not a whole bunch. That one's going to be easier. And the other one's not going to be that hard. We'll be okay. Let's, get rid of all this. Let's do separation on the index and middle finger. That's too long. I need to be careful with that. A little bit cumbersome. Scissors. I have scissors. Cut off that excess bit of. That's what. Does my title say Springy Water Marble or Springy Swirl Water Marble Praise? The last time I updated my title, I did it while I was in the middle of a stream, and then the VOD had the title on it. I did update this one before stream started, and I make sure that it's saying the right thing. Thank you. Down again. It work. I'm gonna force it. I am gonna be pulling it, spreading enough. I think. All things considered, it actually spread quite a bit on its own. I know I have one more yellow drop left. I'm not forgetting it. I just stretched it later than other ones I've done. Okay. And then slightly awkward because I'm holding it with my ring finger in the middle. A hair on there. It's still there. Go away. Okay. Let's go this way. Set. Turn it a little bit more. Ready, set. All right. Good. This one has more open space than the index nail, but over all of the nails together, these are pretty consistent so far. I only have one more dip to do before a copious amount of cleanup. So I did end up getting polish on these two fingers when I was trying to get that hair off, right where I had already protected, so that's good. And by good, I mean not good. After we finish in the cup, I will adjust the camera for the cleanup so you guys can see better. I know right now when I'm like taking the latex off and stuff, you can't really get them. But I feel like taking the latex off is less interesting than watching in the cup, and I feel like moving the camera back and forth, back and forth, back and forth is not that important. If you feel differently, please tell me. I will attempt to accommodate you if you would like. It's right. Oh, apparently I disconnected that on my computer. I am still connected on my phone. Tape. Did you ever watch Broadchurch Sprays? Thank you, Praise. Um, thank you for the reassurance. Okay. Well, when we first watched it, we watched all of the seasons, James and I. And I saw that they had done an American adaptation of it with uh, David Tennant still playing the main character, but the the plot was different but not completely different, and they renamed, like, it was an American family and they like renamed it to be like an American town. And I think that the main character, it still has the same name, and it's like the same story but not really, but David Tennant is the character in both, which is like this weird alternate reality kind of a situation. I don't know. Yeah, and I never did watch the American one, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, I'd be curious to see how different it was, or how similar, or whatever. And I did read the spoilers of how that one ended because it ended differently, but now I don't remember because it's been long enough since I read it that I don't recall what the spoiler was. So that's why I didn't watch it at the time, I think. I was like, oh, well, I already know how it ends, but now I don't because I don't remember. Okay, this little area here. A little better. If I can simultaneously. Uh, see if this turned out okay. Yeah, cool. All right. Go. All right, finally it reconnected. Let me test and see if that's yes. Good. Very weird. Okay, so let's bring this over here. Rid of the tape. We're done with that. Okay, and we are going to be doing some cleanup here, obviously. Let's start by pushing the bubbles flat. I will focus you where we need to focus. All right, okay? Latex stuck to the edges of the polish. That. I mean, you can still see in some places that there was a bubble there, like right there on this middle. I might try to go over that a little bit when I fix the thumbs. But we'll see. There's a bubble that popped there. I probably will put a little dot of color there. See that spot where it got messed up almost. There are quite a lot of bubbles here, though. Maybe it's because it's a quick dry polish. I don't know. Probably. Imagine. Yes, water marble. Hi, Nani. We are in bubble flattening and cleanup part of things. The marbly part is done. Quite a lot of bubbles here. We were using some Sally Hansen Insta Dry, and I think the Insta Dry might have dried the polish in the cup slightly faster. Didn't dry too fast to draw in though, so that's good. Flattening bubbles. Thank you, I'm glad you like it. I had some of these new Mento ones from the Insta Dry line, and they just look very springy. I had a lighter blue from the spring. This purple is not from the Mentos. It's just a spring color that they did in the regular Insta Dry line, I think. And there's a blue from it too. That I almost included a lighter blue, but I feel like the brighter blue and the peachy colors feels kind of summery and almost a little bit beachy. But it's not like bright enough to really be like summer. So it's still spring, you know? Hmm. The pattern of bubbles on this nail is almost grid-like. It's kind of bizarre. Like the spacing between them and the fact that they're all like the same size on this whole side of the nail. Very weird. Oh, they're all flat. No, that's good. Thank you for coming in and saying hi, and thank you for lurking too. If I know there's someone lurking, even if they're not in chat, you're listening, so hear what I'm saying. You're not just still pretty wet. Feel like I'm talking to people. I mean, Praise is in chat too, so I'm not talking to no. But there have been a couple of streams where I felt like I was talking to nobody, and then I looked at like my stream analytics at the end, and there were some lurkers. So knowing that there's someone lurking is nice sometimes. Like while it's happening. Okay. This one I might need to do a little bit of polish surgery on this cuticle because it didn't quite get up where it needs to be. To make the curve even. Probably will do a daub. There. Through with my little scalpel, aka brush, to fix that place we messed up. Okay. Let's fix the spots we messed up so that they can dry while I do the cleanup before I top coat. So we're gonna use Orly Striper. Oh, I'm over here now. Orly Striper. And Test. One. I was using this to mix some of the flakies when I was putting them into Zoya polish that I mixed up, but there's a little free side on here that I can use. And we need kind of a little bit of everything. Let's just put out 1 dot of each because these are pretty quick drying. Waste polish by having it on the palette. So that blending some of these together in some corners is effective. Fix some of these divots and whatnot. So this little place where I told you there was a bubble that popped there. On this one. Acid. There. I'm getting just a little bit of acid on my brush. Water it down so it's not quite as opaque. Putting stuff where there are holes. I'm not getting about. Those 4 look okay. Little thumb here. So, the place that is kind of messed up is in it's mostly blue and orange and a little bit of purple kind of blended together a little bit. And it's not super dark. So what I'm actually going to do is mix a little bit of each color. This kind of intermediary mush color. There. Perfect. There's a bit. So you can see these 2 bubbles. Help you. Here. Here. But they aren't holes. So I'm going to leave them are part of the charm of this. Yeah, so let's do here. And by cleanup, I mean polish surgery cleanup, not getting polish off my skin cleanup. This is starting to dry, but with a little bit of acetone on my brush, it's not too bad yet. Here. blend. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Sorry, I think too close. We're gonna blue swoop between the yellow areas that we did that we covered over. You don't want to go away. There's like a little place right there that I just can't get the polish smoothly in. Let me use my little poker. There. Now I can do yellow next to it and it will fill in better. Little where the actual crack had been where I sliced. Couldn't. There. That's gonna be okay. Let's go ahead and this. Okay. Don't see any other naked spots on that nail, so that's good. There aren't any naked spots on my index nail or my middle nail, I don't think. That looks good. My ring nail has a little bit of a bare patch right there. Can you see that? So I am going to add it right along the edge. Not a perfect color. Got a little bit of orange and a little bit of blue. Kind of swirled together. Because those are the two colors that are closest. Yeah. Just kind of filling in so that it's not completely naked. And then there's one biggish blue stripe that I'm gonna kind of fade into that area that I just did a little bit so that it doesn't, like, it stops completely there. See? That blends way better than when it was a hole. Okay, and then the pinky doesn't look like there are any bubble areas, but there is that part next to the cuticle that needs to be filled in a little bit right there. And then there's one little place right here where I think I must have bumped it against something because I lost a little bit of polish. Blue color. Then we'll continue those kind of diagonal stripes. The yellow. Just a little bit. To make graded, right? And we need a little blue on the other side. Slightly stronger than I intended, right up there next to going to dab it. Oh, great, perfect, looks good. Let's add a little bit right here. Oh. Then we can do cleanup. Let's zoom you out again a little bit. See, there's a lot of polish everywhere. So let's get some Q-tips. Most of my completely immaculate Q-tips are gone. I've almost used them up. But I do still have the ones that I spilled that powder on over long ago. Over here. I haven't bought more Q-tips because I want these ones first, even though they look slightly grungy because of the powder that fell on them, the multi-chrome powder. So we're using them. Not gonna prevent them from picking up polish. This here where you can I am getting multi-chrome powder on my skin though from the Q-tips. Look at that. That's hilarious. There's a tiny little bit of latex stuck there. Okay. Dropping things. We were talking about Chopped at work, my coworkers and I. Michelle had never heard of like the premise. Like she knew it was a Food Network show and she knew that it was a competition, but she didn't know uh like the rules and stuff. Noemi was explaining it to her. Apparently it's one of her favorites. So, some of we'd seen. And like the armchair directing. Do this, do that. No, I wouldn't do that. Do this. Okay, that's pretty good for the major cleanup on it. All of the gooky polish, like this one still has, is gone. So let's move on to over here. There's still some polish residue here. I can feel when I bent my fingers. Inside the ridges of my fingerprint or whatever. My thing, yeah, I guess that is still my finger, isn't it? Not my fingertip print, but my fingerprint. Praise, you saw that I had reblogged that one. Ooh, there's a bunch of multi-chrome on that. Tiny, let's not use that on my red mess. The thing about Eugelicus, and I see the weasel too. Stuck in my head. Having it passed down like that is basically us just looking at the inside jokes of some ancient Greek writers, right? They were like, haha, did you see that one play where the one guy said, I see the weasel instead of I see the calm sea? And then because people are interested in ancient Greece, like, they saw those messages, or writings about that, and then, you know, they read over the memes of their day. Tripping through time. How's this say? Okay. That is close enough for a cleanup brush now. So, get our cleanup brush. Over here again. Polish spelunk again. Like last week. Streaming 2 weeks in a row, guys. I did it. There's thing. This. Getting leaving behind any pieces of latex. Like a pet peeve. Especially since my latex is like neon green. There's like a little fleck of neon green in the very edge of my nail that's like encapsulated by top coat. It happened like once or twice. It just drives me up the wall. Why didn't I see it when I was cleaning up? Why didn't I see it when I was applying top coat? Oh, have you? Yeah, that's true actually. You had a camera in your Amazon cart. Were you considering getting a different camera? Big Cat never came back. Amber. You. Other guy? Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, okay. Little dried something. That's the hardest area to clean polish out of is these little sidewall areas on my ring nails. And similarly on my middle nails, but not quite as bad. There we go. Bless you. The side of this nail is so stripy. Just like, index nail is probably the stripiest on the other hand. Over the other hand. Is that too washed out? Think so. Oh no, good. It found a balance again. That's not too bad. You see all the stripes here, look. The orange and the purple and the blue and the yellow. Good. That's exciting. Skin snaggles. Oh, wait. Oh, did I tell you when I was over there, Praise, that I did get a refund from the people without them having me ship the thing back? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Anybody who was on Paulette's Discord who saw me in the ranting thread talking about it, the sweater people gave me my money back. Yay. Yeah. Well, it just, they said hi in the message that they sent after that. And quoted the other message. But it didn't seem like an intentional quote. I don't know. Alright, I'm getting really close to my face. You can't see my finger anymore. Put it back over here. You see, the ridge is still visible there. I'm gonna go over that little strip with top coat before I go over everything else with top coat so that there's a little buffer of top coat there, like there was a little buffer of base coat there. I didn't use my ridge filling base coat today. I see the difference, actually. Oh, that's interesting. This is a quite thin manicure, though. Just the base coat and the layer of armor polish, which is quite thin. Landing, you know, after being spread out on the bar like that. The proximal nail for yeah, well, they shout, lunking with my little bristles. Doo 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 doo. Alright. There we go. Cave excavated. All clean. Tea time. Now, here is the question. What top coat do we want? I used the Vibrant Vinyls top coat. And while I love that top coat, my biggest complaint with it is that it scratches more easily than the Glisten and Glow top coat. Or the Moonshine Manny top coat, actually, either. But it is very glossy. And I am going to be wearing these glossy, at least for a few days. Not after. But, do I want to do Glisten and Glow? Or do I want to try the Moonshine Manny top coat by itself? I've used it as a midweek top coat a few times, and I've liked it a lot for that. But I haven't done that many manicures where I'm just doing the Moonshine Manny myself. So I could try that. Or I could do the Glisten and Glow top coat. Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna try the Moonshine Manny. Just angle here in the chair. Let's close the other polish though, hey, before we spill it. That was Peppermint Dandy. You're the Zest. Heather Hustle. Not part of the mental group. And then Orange You a Peach. Okay. Oh, that's right. I was going to go over with. Oh, there was a bubble that was there that I didn't see. Well, whatever will be, will. No, come on. All right, lick, lick, save it. Save it. That saved the design okay. I am gonna have to re-top coat that though. Because it got a weird I banged into the end of it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put more top coat on that after that dries. I really like this nail. Right there is the bubble that I was talking about on my darker dot. I didn't press that one flat enough, I guess it popped. Oh, I forgot. I have lemonade. I whatever will be the future. See. Da-da, da-da. How was your meatball? Take two, I take it. Some of these popped too. I wonder if it's the top coat or I just had pressed less flat, or maybe the base was too dry before I pressed them flat so they didn't adhere to the polish underneath. Oh, not really detracting from the design overall though, so. Let's look up what this scent is supposed to be. Collection. Apparently this scent is no longer sold. Well, I'll look it up later. I think I would have to watch the video about the scent when it first was released to be able to see what it was. Okay, so this is dry enough. I'm gonna put that second coat on. There's a few bubbles in the bottle here. I'm trying to avoid them with my brush so that I'm not pulling them up and onto the nail, you know? Much smoother. You would never know. Little there at the tip. The mishap here when I was in the cup, you can see a little bit. Look really closely and you know that it was there. But the one that I saved by licking my finger and pushing the polish back together after I put the top coat on, you would never know why I do that. Because it works. Despite the very slight you did what factor. Because they're my hands and I can wash them, you know, later so that my spit is coming in contact with it. I feel like the blue softens a little bit with the top coat. Does that look like that to you? Do you see that little bit of dry something there? It's still there. I keep going after it with the snippies and I can't get it out. There. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough. I might need to do a second coat of top coat to smooth out the bubbles. We'll have to see how it looks. Hey, perfect praise. Thank you for supporting my salivary cleanliness. Mothers everywhere who lick their thumbs and rub dirt from their children's faces, I'm sure also have inspiration. If I had water nearby, I would dip my finger in water and it would perform the same function. It's really just to make the nail slick so that it wouldn't stick onto the polish that I'm smoothing out. I don't want to use acetone, obviously, because that will eat away at the polish. But I do use acetone and swipe across my nail with my finger sometimes if I am smoothing out like a patch in my matte top coat. Like, for example, if I put on my matte top coat and accidentally gouge out something and then I let it dry, I'll put a little bit more matte top coat over that part of the nail and then I'll dip my finger in some acetone and go whoop, right across the area where the seam between the two pieces of top coat is, or the two pieces are. I guess this nail just had less of the bright blue than this one. Anyway, and that helps to make the seam disappear because the edges melt together. But I don't want to do that when I am fixing a smudge in my nail. Yeah, no. Where do they get the saliva when they're doing restorations? Is it like the archivist's saliva? Do they just use their own saliva? Or like the restorers or whoever they are? Now, is this true for all kinds of paintings or just for oils or for casein or what? How many questions? I'm looking at the design here. So these swoops are going up. These swoops are going up. This one's going up. This one's going down. This one's going up. This one's going down because they were alternated, right? Together. This one's going down. This one's going up. So that's opposite of this. And then this one's going down and this one's going up. So we do have a relatively even balance because this one is going down too. Across all of the nails together. The directionality of the swoopage. Huh, how funny. Now, could someone hypothetically speaking, uh, like a police officer or something get permission to do like a DNA swab. Oh, I forgot to go over the area that needed extra support with the top coat. Well, we'll see how it dries. I might do a little bit before I do the second coat of top coat. It really doesn't matter when it's happening, just as long as it's not the last thing I add. Get a weird splotch. Where the patch of top coat is on top. Very similar to what I was talking about with the matte top coat, but with glossy. The same deal. Because the light reflects off of the edge of the little area that you add on if you don't do it when the polish is wet enough. And if I were to do it when the polish is super wet right now, it would just completely blend into the top coat and it wouldn't add the extra three-dimensional fill-in height that I'm looking for. Ceramics repair person, oil paint. I'm gonna have to look at that link after stream. Sounds very interesting. Oh, my other train of thought. Could they get, like, if they needed that person's DNA, would the DNA live long enough on the painting? Or do they, like, wipe it down with water or something after the saliva has done its cleaning bits? They won a Nobel Prize in chemistry, like, what, proving that it was, like, safe and effective? That's kind of cool, I guess. What year did they discover that this was a safe thing to do? I wonder. Uh, Before people started being more aware of the chemical interactions of restoration and stuff, if it was used like before people started being more cautious, and then if it stopped being used and then it started being used again, and if there were any restorers who lived in the time when like there was a pause and then were able to start doing it again because they lived through the entire time frame which it was in question. That's completely hypothetical, like brain scenario that I just was thinking, about, that I don't know if it's real or not, but it's interesting. You have a favorite nail? These two have the most vibrant blue. And then these two also are the ones that have the central spirals. Kind of funny. These ones are the ones that have the orange. Let's go in and add a second. Go to the side of the vision. Yes, I'm going to avoid my cute area though, so I found it again. And well, sure. Obviously, I was like, I'm not like you know, you can have ones that you like better than others though. You know. What? What's an IG? Oh, an Ig Nobel Prize. An IG Nobel Prize or an Ig Nobel Prize? Because IG makes me think of Instagram. Is Instagram giving out fake Nobel Prizes? Or is it like ignoble, like the word? Thank you for being my Google while my hands are busy. I am gonna put one more coat thumb on this hand because that first coat kind of didn't really happen in regard to smooth out because it got all weird and wobbly. Oh, okay. We are gonna add another coat here, but I'm gonna do it after I do the other. It doesn't make me laugh, it's just interesting. Kind of rude of them to assume that people are gonna laugh about it. So I added that little strip. And we'll come back even laster than thumb. That's pretty smooth. Yeah. You see how this one, that one right there? This is the perfect time to daub top coat area while it is still very wet. Right there. Very wet. You see the bubbles? That's like my one issue with this top coat is bubbles. Really like the brush. I like that it doesn't shrinkage. It dries well. Scratched. Okay, you have to be really careful about bubbles you're applying. See how the wobble is now gone. Good. These are still really thin. I don't know. I might end up going in and doing a third coat. Oh, we finished the China book. Praise mom and dad and I. Dad was only kind of half paying attention, so I don't know how much of the book he caught. But he was invested enough that at the end, when he realized that it was a fictional novel based on true events rather than actual true events, he was like, "What? What do you mean it wasn't real?" So, you know, he was a little bit invested. Um, I don't know what we're gonna start tomorrow. Gosh, little corner here is a pain. Out of here, but thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I'm looking to decide if I want to do that third coat or not. Feel. Some of my nails have been peeling lately, like this index nail especially, and the tip part here is a little bit thin. Do you see how it kind of dips down a little bit? Because I had some layers of the keratin peel off a little bit, and I don't want to leave that really, really thin. and unprotected. I'm afraid it might bend and a break. So I think I am gonna do the third coat despite struggling with bubbles. Yeah, that looks a bit better. I'm not gonna do all of the top coat cleanup around the edge of the skin on stream. I've been just letting that come off when I wash my hands later. Saves me from using some of my acid. Prevents me from drying out my skin a little bit more. So after we finish applying coat of top coat, the last frame. That nail is very small. I'm glad I'm doing another water marble with a more random design after that other one. Because while the clovers were cute, they don't have the like free-form nature that water marbles very often. That's fun, you know. I did do a drip marble recently. I haven't put pictures of it on Instagram yet. So those pictures probably go up this week. I don't know if I'll put these up first or those up first. It really depends. I feel the little layout. Okay. That hand done. We're putting top coat again over here. And then both hands will be done. middle nail because we there. That helps without. There's a little bit of a lift right at the edge. That's, I think it's just the way the C curve is. It kind of makes it go that way at the end. See? But it's not too bad. And this will flatten a little bit as the top coat. Middle nail needs top coat. Last one. I'm not seeing that dimple anymore. That's good. Extra little top coat in between. Did what it was supposed to. The sorry, I lost my thought. Remember what I got distracted by the top. It totally drove it out of my mind. Sure, at the edge. There. I'm not filing it. I'm just taking the edge of this file and pressing there on the top. Something like a fuzzy was in it, and when I pull the fuzzy out, it pulls the top coat into like a little. I don't want it to dry that way because then it's gonna on stuff. There you go. That is gonna be it for everybody. Lovely day slash evening, and I will see you if you choose to join me again. Thank you very much.